AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, Rusev, Daniel Bryan, The Miz, Samoa Joe, Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy, Shelton Benjamin, Big Cass, Andrade Cien Almas, Eric Young, Killian Dane, Alexander Wolf, The New Day, The Bludgeon Brothers, Gallows and Anderson, The Bar, The Usos, Charlotte, Asuka, Billie Kay, Peyton Royce, Becky Lynch, Naomi, and Carmella, your SmackDown Women's Champion. You have all that talent right now on SmackDown Live after tonight's Superstar Shakeup, and I can still sit here and safely tell you that I have no faith whatsoever in WWE to put on a great show week after week with SmackDown Live. And there's one reason for that, and one reason for that alone, and it's because despite all this talent and despite all the great matches that we have in store for us, whether it be at a pay-per-view or on random editions of SmackDown Live, you know it as well as I know it, as well as everyone knows it. You know deep down that they cannot write storyline to save their lives. They cannot write for shit on either Raw or SmackDown Live. And unless you shaked up the writing staff behind the scenes that's writing SmackDown Live back to whoever was writing SmackDown Live in 2016, or you shook up the writing staff on SmackDown Live so whoever the hell is writing NXT has come up to write SmackDown Live, then you ain't gonna see no change. No change whatsoever. It doesn't matter if you have AJ Styles, Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, whoever the hell may be on your brand at the same time. You can have every member of WWE's roster on one brand and you still ain't gonna get great storyline. You still ain't going to get the best product at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, realistically, you're going to be stuck with the same bullshit. At the end of the day, instead of giving us AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan, instead of pushing a Rusev, they're going to throw Big Cass in your face as a primary object on SmackDown Live. At the end of the day, instead of giving a championship to an Asuka or a Charlotte, WWE is going to give you a title reign for Mandy Rose or Sonya Deville. At the end of the day, instead of building up Gallows and Anderson, and instead of giving you great matches in the tag team division that you deserve to see, WWE is probably going to throw some makeshift tag team into the forefront with the tag team division that they have right now. It's illogical decisions like that. It's ridiculous booking and just cringe-worthy television like that that brings down the quality of these shows. It's not what you see in the ring, because realistically, for the past 3-4 years, we've had the best rosters that you can possibly ever see in the WWE as far as in-ring talent goes. I'm not talking about star popularity or whatever the hell, or your ability to cut a promo, but as far as in-ring goes, you have the best roster that you have ever had, and that has not been enough whatsoever to have me come on here and safely tell you that Raw and SmackDown Live are great shows. They made some great decisions, and let me tell you, Raw got the absolute shit end, surprisingly enough, when it came to the Superstar Shakeup. SmackDown got rid of Jinder Mahal. They got rid of the Riot Squad. They got rid of useless talent of the likes of Mojo Rawley and Zack Ryder. They got rid of all of that. But do you think that they are going to take advantage of those useless names that they got rid of? Do you think they are going to take advantage of these very, very, very good deals that they got in this Superstar Shakeup? I have no idea if they're going to do any of that, because we've seen in the past that unless SmackDown Live goes back to making logical booking decisions, Road Dogg Jesse James, oh, you didn't know? He's going to continue to put on the same shitty television that you've seen each and every single week on SmackDown Live. And if, of course, you don't know that, you better call somebody. This is Joel Perez of the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, bringing you your SmackDown Live review for the date of April 17th, 2018. Of course, we're talking about the Superstar Shakeup edition of SmackDown Live. New additions from the Monday Night Raw and NXT roster were added to the SmackDown Live roster. And quite frankly, let me tell you, SmackDown Live is looking stacked as far as talent goes on Raw. Or as far as talent goes compared to Raw. Raw still has some great talent. Braun Strowman, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Roman Reigns, Bobby Lashley, Bobby Roode. Raw's still stacked. But compared to SmackDown, it's night and day, bro. AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, Andrade Cien Almas, which I absolutely adore that decision. I thought they were going to keep him in NXT for a while longer, simply because of the fact that Andrade Cien Almas, he was owed a rematch, and he did not come up last week on the Raw after Mania, so that's where I expected him to show up. Nope, he was on SmackDown Live here tonight in a small capacity, but of course we will talk about that. That was one of the most exciting switches here tonight, and one of my favorite superstars. If I'm a mark for anybody on any of these rosters, it's one, AJ Styles, it's two, or probably one, Samoa Joe. I absolutely love me a dose of Samoa Joe. He is one of the best not in-ring performers, but on the microphone, and he is one of the most legitimate in-ring performers on your brand, whichever brand he is on. Samoa Joe is bringing toughness, legitimacy, and badassery, if that's even a word. Samoa Joe is bringing it. And he was on here tonight, and he proved exactly why he's an asset to whatever brand he is on. Samoa Joe cut an absolutely enthralling promo warning the SmackDown Live roster here tonight. We will discuss that in detail. But of course, before we talk about everything that we've seen here tonight on SmackDown Live, I would say it was a decent show. Again, WWE in certain aspects showed us that this superstar shakeup was rushed. Again, you had the superstars just showing up. No professional feel, no Shane McMahon or Paige making trades with Kurt Angle or Stephanie McMahon, no sports-like professional feel. Everything felt rushed. The presentation is terrible, and it felt like a same old edition of SmackDown Live, except you had access to your new superstars, and that's where it felt fresh, that's where it felt dynamic, but we still saw some good stuff from SmackDown Live here tonight, and we're going to discuss all of that. But like I said, before we do, I just want to tell you guys to make sure to go check out all of the content on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, and of course, the reason I say that is because there is so much other content to go check out. Just this past week, we uploaded your Monday Night Raw review just last night. Monday Night Raw review is up on the channel. Make sure to go check it out. We're talking everything regarding Raw's end of the Superstar Shakeup, so make sure to go check that out. A lot of call-ups right there. Not the most exciting show by any means, but we talk about it last night on your Monday Night Raw review. Of course, make sure to go check out Behind the Mic, uploaded earlier this weekend. It was Behind the Mic, episode number 61. We're talking about this very Superstar Shakeup very briefly, not as much as you would expect me to go into it, because there was nothing to say. We were just going to see what we had to see, and we saw what we had to see here tonight on SmackDown Live and last night on Monday Night Raw. But we do talk about there the reason why Roman Reigns was beaten and defeated by Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 34. We talk about why ASUKA lost her streak at that very pay-per-view, and so much more regarding the future of the WWE going forward, of course, regarding Rusev Day, all that great stuff. Of course, like we all know by this point, Rusev is back in for the casket match with The Undertaker. I don't know what the confusion was there. Maybe we'll be reporting that on Behind the Mic episode number 62, upcoming this very weekend, of course. But make sure to go check out Behind the Mic episode number 61, as well as your Monday Night Raw and SmackDown reviews from last week. And of course, WrestleMania 34, it was about a week and a half ago at this point, but of course it was the biggest show of the year. So if you haven't seen my WrestleMania 34 review, that's one of the biggest videos on this channel. Just by sheer size, it's an hour and 10 minutes, the longest video on this channel. So make sure to go check out WrestleMania 34 review, a little bit of a spice in the presentation on WrestleMania 34's review. Make sure to go check it out. Great stuff right there. It is a can't miss, no doubt about it. But as far as SmackDown Live goes here tonight, of course, before we do get into that, I almost forgot. Make sure to subscribe to the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. And the reason I say that is because you get everything on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel regarding the WWE. You're getting here right now with your SmackDown Live review. You got it last night with your Monday Night Raw review, and you will continue to get it for the foreseeable future. Make sure to subscribe. If you have not subscribed yet, I honestly do not know what you are waiting for. And of course, make sure to click on that notification bell so you can get those notifications straight to your mobile device. Of course, make sure to like if you enjoy what you're watching here, and dislike if you think I'm a clown, if you think I'm a fool, if you think what I'm saying is complete bogus. Make sure to dislike. I really do not care. Just seeing feedback and letting me know what's wrong is exactly what I want to hear. Or if you want to let me know what's right, either or, of course, there's a comment section down below for you guys to leave your opinion, because your opinion is just as important as mine. I want to stress that because we're going straight into the SmackDown Live review, and the show started off here tonight with AJ Styles. AJ Styles, baby. You cannot go wrong with starting off a show with a phenomenal one. That's exactly what they did here tonight. We went to the ring, and Greg Hamilton did the introduction for AJ Styles. Styles took the mic as fans chanted his name, and he did address Shinsuke Nakamura. We're actually going to play that little clip for you guys right here on your SmackDown Live review. I'm going to play that for you guys, and then, of course, I will give you my opinion on what we've seen in the little clip.
You know, they say you can tell a lot about a man through his failures. And if that's the case, I think we found out everything we need to know about Shinsuke Nakamura. You see, I dreamed about having this match with Shinsuke at WrestleMania.
We all dreamed, buddy.
And when it happened, I was successful. He failed. And when he did, he showed his true colors. You see, Shinsuke's not just an artist, he's a con artist. That's what he is. I'm not letting it go. Not tonight. In fact, I'm not leaving this ring until I confront Shinsuke Nakamura. Don't worry. I know that all of a sudden Shinsuke, he's forgot how to speak English. But I'm not down here for a conversation. I'm down here for a fight. So Shinsuke, you two-faced coward, get down here and fight me right now.
That's what I want to hear.
I know. It isn't us you wanted, Shinsuke. So that
Aiden English has a beautiful voice.
But I'm sorry to say that he's gone away. on an anywhere but Providence vacay. But if you want to fight AJ, you can be this lion's prey. Since we're here today, let me take a little survey. Ladies and gentlemen, what day is today?
Rusev Day. In the palm of his hands, bro.
Well, since it is Rusev Day, and Shinsuke Nakamura doesn't have a spine, let's fight right now.
I was down with that idea, I really was, and it was Rusev versus AJ Styles here tonight on SmackDown Live, but not for long whatsoever, and I was actually disappointed by this. These are the type of booking decisions that you will see on SmackDown Live under the tutelage of Road Dogg Jesse James. You already know the deal right there. It was a 2-minute match, or barely that, between AJ Styles and AJ Styles and Rusev, and AJ Styles locked in the calf crusher right away before Aiden English was there to beat down and assault AJ Styles. Of course, Daniel Bryan came out and he helped AJ Styles out. He evened up the odds, and Paige was backstage after this segment to tell us that she was going to take a page out of Teddy Long's book, and she was going to book a little tag team matchup here tonight. It would be AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan teaming up for the first time ever against Rusev Day. So that was the deal here tonight. I mean, I'm not necessarily against that idea. It was a decent main event here tonight. Certainly nothing that you can complain about right there. Rusev in the main event of SmackDown Live. I'm down with that. Hopefully WWE gets behind the idea of Rusev. I would love to see a Rusev versus Jeff Hardy feud. How about that? Jeff Hardy came over to SmackDown Live here tonight. Once again, SmackDown Live getting an upper hand. Well, either way, you were going to have an upper hand. Whether it was Seth Rollins coming with the Intercontinental Championship or Jeff Hardy coming with the United States Championship, you were in good hands with whatever talent you got on that spectrum. But that is besides the point. I'd love to see Rusev versus Jeff Hardy for that United States Championship. Give Rusev some opportunity. You realistically need to do that, and hopefully that's the case. Hopefully that's the case. It seems like WWE is behind it a little bit, I think. I mean, Rusev did get the matchup with The Undertaker back. I don't know what was the deal there. They went from Rusev to Jericho to Rusev again. Well, watch them go to Jericho again. I don't know what the deal is there. But Rusev will face Undertaker at the Saudi Arabia show in a casket match. Whether or not that's a metaphor for WWE wanting to bury Rusev, I have no idea, but Rusev, he seems to be in a prominent role on SmackDown Live each and every single week. Hopefully they keep him that way. He is one of the incremental pieces to see if WWE truly does care and to see if WWE truly does listen to their fans, because Rusev is quite evidently and clearly somebody who got over on his own volition, and WWE, it's your job to take that success and transfer it into your booking, because, yeah, that might not have been your plan, but the guy is talented, and the guy got himself over, so it's your job to alter your plans and put Rusev in the situation he truly deserves to be, and that is in a prominent role, whether it's with the United States Championship or in a WWE Championship program for that matter. I truly do think Rusev is that good that he would deserve something of that caliber, but it was AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan against Rusev Day here tonight. Aiden English and Rusev. Anyways, Paige, I think she said something else. She was backstage with Shane McMahon here tonight. As we all know, there was a little awkward thing where Shane McMahon was dancing around doing the Teddy Long dance after Paige made that decision, and Paige just walked in. I don't know why she walked back in. That really made no sense to me. Like, okay, maybe if you would have forgotten your phone on a desk or something and you would have just come to pick it up, but no, she comes back in and then leaves his office just to make that a little awkward, funny moment right there. I don't know about that. But they talked more about tonight's show, including the Miz's return. Miz did not return. Apparently, he's making his return on SmackDown Live next week. I think it's very clear that if you're going to book SmackDown Live correctly, you have so much talent at this point that you're going to have to do the NXT style of things. And that's an every other week type of thing where your talent shuffles, because that's how much talent you have here, where in 2 hours you're not going to get everybody on the show. So not everybody has to be on the show every single week. Just make sure everybody's on the show every 2 weeks at least. Every other week have them be on the show. This week you saw Rusev Day and you saw Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles. Next week, let's see Shinsuke Nakamura and whoever the hell else it may be. And The Miz and whoever wasn't on the show. Sanity. Let's see next week Andrade Cien Almas make his debut. You can do other things. Next week, instead of seeing, like we saw tonight, the Usos and the Bludgeon Brothers, let's see The New Day and Cesaro and Sheamus, or Cesaro and Sheamus and Gallows and Anderson. Something of that volition right there. I think that's perfect. Shuffle your talent. NXT does it to near perfection. Do they do it on their show? They only have 1 hour to fill. SmackDown has 2. You can still have maybe your top tier talent on the show every week, like the AJ Styles, but shuffle the mid-carders, because you don't have that time, and now you especially don't have that time, because WWE is making the mistake, and yes, this is a big mistake, of making every pay-per-view dual-branded. We discussed that whenever the hell that news broke a couple weeks ago. That was a big, or not a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago at this point, that news broke. That the pay-per-views would be dual-branded after WrestleMania. That's a mistake in my eyes. That is a big mistake in my eyes. So, hopefully WWE makes the decision to actually use their mid-carders and make those dual-branded shows the best that they can be, because it's going to be a little bit of a challenge getting everybody on both rosters the limelight at these pay-per-views. It's going to be interesting to see how they do that. Anyways, Shelton Benjamin came out on SmackDown Live here tonight, and he actually cut a decent promo, because clearly you already know the deal. Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable would no longer be a tag team. They would be split up. So Shelton Benjamin came out, and they're going to be singles competitors. Shelton Benjamin got the completely better exchange out of this deal. There's no doubt about that, because he's on the less compact show, SmackDown Live. Well, it's going to be hard to say that after all the time SmackDown Live got here tonight, and we're about to talk about one of them, of course, Jeff Hardy. But Shelton Benjamin's on a show where they are going to put you in the limelight a little bit more. Monday Night Raw, it's big fucking sea of fish, and it's going to be interesting to see if Chad Gable gets his proper limelight, and everybody who's on Monday Night Raw. That's going to be interesting to see. But it was Shelton Benjamin versus Jeff Hardy here tonight. And Shelton Benjamin, he cut a little promo saying that his post-Raw tweet on Chad Gable going to Raw in the Superstar Shakeup, he got hacked. And he says that the tweet said that he sees big things in Gable's future on Raw. Benjamin says his Twitter account was hacked, and he would never say anything like that. Benjamin says he no longer needs Gable. Correction, he never needed Gable. Gable needed him. Benjamin says it's enough about Gable. He needs the respect he deserves, the title shots he owes, and to remind everyone that he's the biggest threat on SmackDown. Benjamin says he's had a chat with Paige and told her to send some big competition. Benjamin drops the mic and waits for his opponent. The music hits, and out comes Randy Orton. So that was going to be an interesting matchup right there. I was down with that. I was expecting our first member of the Superstar Shakeup to come out at this point. And he did, because Randy Orton was going to make his entrance, and it seemed like he was going to come out to this matchup. But it was realistically, of course, Jeff Hardy who came out here tonight and interrupted Randy Orton. So Randy Orton, I say that's enough reason for a heel turn. Randy Orton, if there's something this guy needs, it is a big heel turn, because he is stagnant and boring right now in his current role. Jeff Hardy interrupting him, the frustration of not getting to challenge for the title against who he thought he was going to fight for it against, Jinder Mahal, and everybody just sliding him, putting him in a fatal 4-way, making him defend his title and lose his title when he didn't even get pinned at WrestleMania, I say there's enough frustration there to turn Randy Orton heel. Getting interrupted, being stolen of his true spotlight. You know what? He's not going to let that happen. He's going to take that back. And he could realistically become that dastardly heel, that great heel we all know Randy Orton to be. And imagine Jeff Hardy, who, I don't know what it is about Jeff Hardy that makes him such a great babyface. I've never found Jeff Hardy outside of the ring to do anything just so amazing, but it's just like this guy, it's like magnetic for you to like him. Like, I love Jeff Hardy, and I don't know why. What does he do that's so amazing? Can anybody spot that out in the comment section below? Tell me, like, what makes Jeff Hardy such a great babyface besides what he does in the ring? He's never been a phenomenal person as far as working on the microphone goes. He's never done anything too crazy, except when it comes to doing all the spot monkey stuff. You already know the deal with that. So Jeff Hardy, just this magnetic babyface against Randy Orton, who you already know is a fantastic heel. I think that can work perfectly as a feud on SmackDown Live. No doubt about it. And I definitely, you already know the deal with that. Rather see Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy holding the United States Championship than Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal holding the United States Championship. That sounds absolutely god-awful, but that is besides the point, because it was Jeff Hardy versus Shelton Benjamin, and damn, these two put on a good match here tonight on SmackDown Live. Nothing too amazing, but it was a good TV match. It was a good TV match here tonight between Shelton Benjamin and Jeff Hardy. Clearly, your new United States Champion just won it last night on Raw. Beat Shelton Benjamin. Non-title match here tonight. Of course, he hit the twist of fate and followed that with a beautiful Swanton bomb. And Shelton Benjamin was defeated here tonight. Shelton Benjamin looked good in the ring. Of course, not as great as he was back in the day when he was in his prime on WWE television. But Shelton Benjamin looks good. Shelton Benjamin looks good, and I think he could be a great singles competitor upon being given the spotlight and the limelight that he deserves. If you put him in a singles matchup with AJ Styles and you give those guys 20 minutes to go at it on SmackDown Live, you will see the true talent that Shelton Benjamin still has within him. But that is besides the point. The announcer sent us to a video from The Miz on his phone. Fans pop when Miz asks if we want to see Daniel Bryan punch him in the face. Miz says that's too bad because he's not here. He's in Los Angeles with Maurice and their daughter. We see them with him now. Miz announces that he will premiere on SmackDown next Tuesday. He says he will kick Bryan's ass, but Maurice interrupts and tells him to watch the language around the kid. Miz declares that next week's SmackDown Live will be awesome. They kiss, and that is it for the promo. So that was interesting enough right there. Miz will debut next week with all the stuff that you had to announce this week. Miz didn't need to be on SmackDown Live. He was already on Monday Night Raw last week. You can save that, and whatever they're planning to do between The Miz and Daniel Bryan, which I personally cannot wait to see if what Miz and Daniel Bryan are going to do. After tonight, it looks like Big Cass, who returned, and Daniel Bryan were going to go into a program against each other. But I don't know about that. It's going to be interesting to see what they do next week. Will Daniel Bryan get involved with The Miz? I can see The Miz taking Big Cass as a lackey or working alongside Big Cass as two heels. I can definitely see that. I can see Daniel Bryan and a partner of his choice against Big Cass and The Miz in the main event of SmackDown Live, because Road Dogg is lazy and generic, and whoever the hell else has been writing for SmackDown Live as of the past year in 2017. Awful year for SmackDown, coming out of a great year in 2016, or at least the end of 2016, I'll tell you that much. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do with The Miz. Are they going to give him Daniel Bryan right away? Are they going to save that feud for SummerSlam? I don't know. I can definitely see Backlash being Daniel Bryan and Big Cass, with The Miz perhaps in the background, and you continue to save that. You continue to put other obstacles in front of Daniel Bryan before he gets to The Miz. I can definitely see that. But the announcers, we go to Jey Uso versus Harper. Not even Luke Harper anymore. Wow, Harper. Anyways, this matchup barely went any time. A distraction from the Eric Rowan, who was on the outside. Jey Uso jumped onto him with the tope suicida. He got caught, and he got placed on the apron, where he took a monstrous discus clothesline from Luke Harper. Luke Harper got the pin after that, and they laid waste to the Usos, sent one of them into the steel steps, the other into the barricade. They were ready to finish the Usos. They got their two hammers or mallets or whatever the hell you want to call them, and they were going to do something. But of all things, Naomi came running down, and she told the Bludgeon Brothers to stop. And, I expected the Bludgeon Brothers to push her out the goddamn way and do something anyways. That would have been absolutely sick, I'll tell you that much. But that was not the case here tonight. That was not the case. They actually decided to have some respect, and they walked away. I don't know, this seems like something they would have done actually back in SmackDown in 2016. Remember when Renee Young got involved with The Miz and Dean Ambrose's situation and she slapped the hell out of The Miz? That was great. That was great. And Nikki Bella getting involved with John Cena, all that good stuff right there. I mean, it's great when the women get involved with their husbands and stuff like that. It adds an extra layer of realism to the story, and I think they can take advantage of this. I'm not sure what they're going to do, but it definitely adds a layer of personal layer to this storyline where it wasn't existent before. I'm just going to have to wait and see how they expand upon this. It does give Naomi something to do because damn well she ain't going to be doing anything in the women's division for the next couple weeks. So having her involved with her husband in the tag team division is going to be interesting to see how they play upon that. But we move on here. Maybe they'll introduce a woman to Harper and Rowan, to the Bludgeon Brothers. Well, Nikki Cross was not in the graphic for Sanity here tonight. Nikki Cross was not coming to SmackDown, so either she's staying on NXT, or maybe they're going to have Nikki Cross debut with the Bludgeon Brothers and not Sanity, and she's going to take on Naomi. That'd be interesting. The Bludgeon Brothers are certainly crazy enough. They definitely fit the look of Nikki Cross and the craziness and wackiness of Nikki Cross. I'm disappointed that Nikki Cross is not part of Sanity. That was my favorite part of that act, probably, Nikki Cross. But she's not debuting with Sanity. Maybe she can debut with the Bludgeon Brothers. Just an idea that I'm thought of on the spot right now. But we move on to probably my favorite part of SmackDown Live, and that, of course, is the badassery of Samoa Joe. His music hit, and I absolutely popped. So did the crowd. He's over when the crowd is chanting Joe along with his entrance music. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Clearly, this matchup was so unpredictable. Sin Cara versus Samoa Joe. Clearly, Samoa Joe got the better of this matchup here tonight. Coquina clutch for the win. He hit this beautiful, Sin Cara was looking for some springboard type maneuver. Samoa Joe clobbered him with a beautiful lariat to the back of the head. That was vicious right there. Samoa Joe is going to do some big things on SmackDown Live. We're on Monday Night Raw. He was limited by the fact that he was around guys like Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman, and Roman Reigns, who they were clearly going to push over him, as well as those injuries that set him back quite a bit. He was overshadowed on Monday Night Raw. Another one of the likes of John Cena. They weren't going to put Samoa Joe in the top position, but it is clear that SmackDown Live, this is where Samoa Joe is going to shine. I would love to see Samoa Joe versus Shinsuke Nakamura, Samoa Joe versus Randy Orton. Don't even get me started, Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles. And now that Andrade Cien Almas is on the brand, I'm not sure how quickly they will get to this because both guys are heels, but Samoa Joe versus Andrade Cien Almas. Another one here. Another one that I absolutely adore, Samoa Joe versus Daniel Bryan. Imagine how hard-hitting, imagine how lethal, and how wrestling ground-based that those two could get. Oh my god, I'm excited just at the thought of it, bro. That sounds amazing. Like I said, one of the only guys on this roster that I am a mark for is Samoa Joe, and they now have him on SmackDown Live. Raw took a major blow after losing Samoa Joe. I definitely know that, and he is now on SmackDown Live, and he proved his worth, not just from what we've seen in him in the ring with Sin Cara of all people, but with that promo that he cut after the matchup here tonight on SmackDown Live. Damn, that was a good promo. Warning everybody on SmackDown Live was Samoa Joe, and we saw some fantastic stuff. Here is the clip.
Well, if it isn't the land of opportunity. Would you see, to me, this place seems more like the land of handouts. Well, that all changes. I'm here now, and I get all the opportunities. I will have the opportunity to put to sleep your beloved Daniel Bryan.
I like the sound of that.
I will be the man that defangs the Viper.
I like the sound of that.
And I will emasculate and decimate AJ Styles.
That sounds phenomenal.
And if any of you are non-believers, look no further than what I'll do in Saudi Arabia and in Backlash. And speaking of the greatest Royal Rumble, I can make you this solemn promise that what's ever left of Roman Reigns after Brock Lesnar beats his ass again, I personally will shred and put the big dog out to pasture for good.
And he also mentions, I don't know why they cut this part of the promo off, but he also mentions how he would bring the Intercontinental Championship to SmackDown Live, and if Roman Reigns were to beat Brock Lesnar, by the rare chance that Roman Reigns were to beat Brock Lesnar, if only Joe were to know that that's not so rare, I think it's happening on pretty good accord, but by the rare chance that Roman Reigns were to beat Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship, that Samoa Joe would be there to bring both the Intercontinental Championship after Saudi Arabia, because he's in a matchup at the Saudi Arabia event. Again, it's like a fatal four-way ladder match. That sounds cool, to say the least. It's like Jeff Hardy, or at least it was Jeff Hardy, but now he's United States Champion. But it's like Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, Samoa Joe, and somebody else. Don't ask me. I think it's The Miz, the other one, yeah. So that sounds pretty interesting right there. And then, of course, at Backlash, he would go one-on-one with Roman Reigns. So WWE with the Superstar Shakeup, just one thing I'm throwing out there, completely disregarding any storytelling for the next couple weeks, because what we're going to be seeing is mix and match between Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live because of everything that happened post-shakeup. This is a question that I had. Is WWE going to throw things off like this and make it so Samoa Joe gets drafted to SmackDown and Roman Reigns stays on Raw, that we're going to see Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns SmackDown versus Raw at Backlash? That's exactly what we're getting, and both men are going to be on separate brands building towards their matchup at that pay-per-view. So that sounds absolutely ridiculous to me, and that's one of my original reasonings why this Superstar Shakeup was rushed and should have been after the Backlash pay-per-view, because now all storyline before that is impeded. So for the next 2 weeks or whatever it may be before Backlash, I think it's actually only 1 week, so it really doesn't matter, but this 3-week period after WrestleMania, there was no storyline progression, because everything we see at Backlash is going to be probably Raw versus SmackDown by every chance. So that's the situation there, but believe me, about Samoa Joe being on SmackDown Live, I am ecstatic. Randy Orton, AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, all the people that I want to see, holy crap, go against Samoa Joe. The list is endless. You already know the deal as far as that goes. That sounds absolutely fantastic. And again, the microphone work, absolutely beautiful. He's one of the best on the microphone in the WWE, up there with the likes of John Cena and Paul Heyman. No doubt about it. Samoa Joe is absolutely fantastic, and he's going to tear shit up on SmackDown Live. Cannot wait to see it. It's Samoa Joe. It is the Samoan submission machine. He has arrived on SmackDown Live, and he's making this his land, because that is the badass that he is. For now, we move on here to the next segment. And oh God, it was that It was that commercial which I feel the need to like vomit after I watch this crap. It's this stupid commercial that WWE, I didn't catch it last night on Monday Night Raw, because usually I have my TV on mute during most of Raw until I see something that I'm interested in, and I just look at the matches every once in a while. So that's just me on Raw, so I clearly did not catch this commercial last night, but I definitely saw it on Twitter the next day, or here today, and they played it again here tonight on SmackDown Live. Holy crap. I'm glad that I had that crap muted last night, because after watching it for like the second or third time here tonight on SmackDown Live, I feel the need to vomit. Holy crap, that was god-awful. I don't know what's going on with Dolph Ziggler's hair. Carmella's going absolutely crazy. Everybody looks absolutely cringe. AJ Styles lip-syncing is one of the worst things I have ever seen. Jeff Hardy lip-syncing is one of the worst things that I have ever seen. Matt Hardy lip-syncing is one of the worst things that I have ever seen. I want to shoot myself in the head after watching that commercial. The song is cringe. The superstars look cringe. Everybody looks out of place. The best way to watch that commercial is to not watch it at all. Change the channel, mute your television, turn off your television entirely. Just don't watch SmackDown Live. That's the best way to avoid this, because let me tell you, it's absolutely awful. Holy crap. I am done talking about that. Terrible stuff. That's probably the worst commercial WWE has ever produced. Garbage. Absolutely garbage. We come back from that to hear that Sanity would be moving to SmackDown. Fantastic news right there, no doubt about it. Sanity, but no Nick Cross. I already discussed that a little bit. Sanity is moving to SmackDown Live. It's going to be interesting to see how they handle that, because they are stable, and it's going to be interesting to see who the hell else is going to challenge them. It's probably going to be Sanity versus the New Day, because there's no other stables. But imagine the contrast that you have right there, Sanity and the New Day. It's the fun-loving, everybody, blah, 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 versus Sanity, the super serious, super crazy stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Sanity and the New Day. That's what I'm predicting they go forward with. Whether it's at Backlash, I think that'd be way too soon, or whether it's at the next upcoming pay-per-view, which I think is Extreme Rules. I'm not sure. Anyways, Renee Young catches up with Daniel Bryan backstage and asks about making the save for AJ Styles earlier, and Bryan says he's proud to team with AJ tonight because he knows one day they will fight each other, and he did that out of respect. Anyways, Big Cass, of all people, who I am no fan of, appears and gets in Bryan's face. Renee leaves and cheers for Cass. Cass mocks Bryan's height and asks if he's really all the fuss is about. So I don't know what the hell that was about. I mean, I think they're going to go along with Big Cass and Daniel Bryan, and they're going to do David versus Goliath, and Daniel Bryan's going to come out victorious. Something that in his first run, we saw with Daniel Bryan all the goddamn time. He was the vanilla midget. It'd be Daniel Bryan on SmackDown with Mark Henry and The Big Show, and he'd be with Sheamus in every match. It was ridiculous, and WWE is going to be right back to putting him in that position where it's the big guy against the little guy. So, thank God Big Cass is the only big guy on SmackDown Live, at least I think, if there's not anybody else. And that's all we're going to be seeing of that. Oh, there's Killian Dane, too, who just debuted with Sanity. It's going to be interesting who the singles competitor is going to be on Sanity. I think it's going to be Killian Dane. He's the breakout star right there. That's the guy that Vince McMahon's going to lay his eyes on and say, you're going to the top. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Sanity. It's going to be interesting to see how they portray Big Cass in this feud with Daniel Bryan. I mean, there's no better way, if this guy's going to be heel, there's no better way to get him heat than to put him with Daniel Bryan, the most over babyface. So I understand where WWE's coming from, putting Big Cass in this position, but you already know the deal. I am no fan of Big Cass. Hopefully Daniel Bryan could bring him to a good match, but I'm not sure how well it's going to come off after being off for 8 months with injury. Anyways, we move on to Carmella and her celebration for her SmackDown Women's title. Carmella, let me tell you, she's not the best in the ring by any means, but when it comes to being on the microphone, she's a great heel. So Carmella throws a celebration for her SmackDown Women's title. Here it was, here tonight on SmackDown Live.
Just the Princess of Staten Island anymore. From now on, all of you people, you can call me the moonwalking, trash-talking, crown princess of Smackdown Live.
Oh God, that laugh.
Such a nice ring to it, don't you think? All I had to do to beat Charlotte Flair was wait for her to be blinded by her own ego. She has a saying. Charlotte says, in order to be the woman, you gotta beat the woman. Well, learn to love it, baby, because I'm the woman! You guys, I have to say, I'm really gonna miss Frankie. I had Frankie for 287
I love this.
days. He's my boy. And
Giving
I
the
love
title
Frankie.
names,
However,
she's crazy. I like that.
287 days is nothing compared to how long I'm gonna keep Cleopatra. WWE Universe, meet Cleopatra.
So she calls the SmackDown Women's title Cleopatra.
I said it before, and I'll say it again, baby. Mela is money, and now I have the Smack.
So out came Charlotte, and Charlotte was in full robot mode here tonight.
The only reason you had that briefcase was because of that chinless freak. And the only reason you had that successful cash-in was because of Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. But I'm not mad at it. No, listen, Carmella, I'm not mad at it. You want to know why? Because I know the dirtiest player in the game. And game respects game. And what...
Listen to that line right there. Because I know the dirtiest player in the game. And game respects game. I mean, are you kidding me? That's the best you got for delivery on that line? She sounds like a complete robot, bro. She toned it down a little bit in her feud with Asuka leading up to WrestleMania. She's right back to it here tonight on SmackDown Live. It's Charbot. Oh my God.
What you did was capitalize on an opportunity. So, Carmella, congratulations.
Congratulations. Oh my God.
But, sweetheart, I'm here to give you some words of wisdom. It is much harder to stay on top than to get to the top. And you have something of mine.
And out come Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. Just before we move on here, before I forget, I feel like Charlotte's much better as a heel because she just has that degrading, condescending tone and voice when she's cutting a promo. Like, that just fit when she was a heel. Now that she is a babyface, and I know she's been a babyface for a while, ever since she got to SmackDown Live in, like, April of last year. But, I mean, Charlotte as a babyface just comes across as condescending and degrading, and you're supposed to be a babyface. I'm supposed to feel sympathy for you. She's still great because of the way WWE portrays her as this queen and blah blah blah, and she's above everybody else, and that's kind of her character, but it just doesn't fit as a babyface. Just saying that, especially the way she cuts a promo. That slow, methodical way of speaking, that resembles a heel, and that's why I used to praise Charlotte's heel work when she was cutting a promo as a heel back in like 2016 on Raw, because that tone fits the heel. But now that she just uses it for her babyface run as well, I'm kind of like, holy shit, she's terrible. That's just the way she speaks. Holy crap. But here come Billie Kay and Peyton Royce.
This is pathetic. I mean, you're blaming us.
I agree.
You're blaming little old us for your failure? Oh, Peyton, do it. Yeah. I'm Charlotte, and I'm a big baby. Someone stole my water bottle, and now I'm cranky poo. change and wow, blah, blah, blah. You're looking at the future, and the future is iconic.
You have to respect these two Australian superstars making a big impact in a short period of time on SmackDown Live. It looks like the Queen might be ready to fight. Well, again, the Iconics are the reason Charlotte's no longer.
So Charlotte took off her robe, and she started attacking Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. So she starts attacking Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. Out comes Becky Lynch, and I hate how directionless Becky Lynch is. I mean, realistically, with the thriving division that you have on SmackDown Live right now, I mentioned it before, Billie Kay, Peyton Royce, Charlotte, Carmella, Becky Lynch, Naomi, you should be able to put on some great television. By the way, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville were also drafted over to SmackDown Live here tonight. Try to catch me giving a crap, but that's besides the point. Becky Lynch should not be in the position. She's pretty much Charlotte's lackey anytime Charlotte needs help. It's absolutely ridiculous, but it was Becky Lynch in the corner of Charlotte, and it was Charlotte versus Billie Kay here tonight on SmackDown Live. This was a pretty decent affair between Charlotte and Billie Kay. Of course, Charlotte won. If Charlotte didn't win here, I would have been very, very mad because she reached Charlotte's Asuka streak. Why would Billie Kay beat her here tonight? But Billie Kay looked good too. Billie Kay had a mean streak to her. She looked impressive. Not as green as she looked on NXT, surprisingly enough. I think Peyton Royce is the better of the two competitors, and I can't wait to see Peyton Royce step in the ring. But of course, when I do see that, I want to see it in a victorious fashion. Anyways, after the matchup, when Charlotte locked in the figure eight and Billie Kay tapped out, Carmella started attacking Charlotte. Becky made the save, but the Iconics took her out too. Carmella got back to beating Charlotte Flair down while the music interrupted, and the newest member of the Blue Brand, Asuka, ran in, and Carmella retreated, but she took out Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. And this is what I didn't like. Asuka just stood there, didn't even look at Charlotte. Why not have a stare down and a confrontation with the woman who ended your streak, saying that I'm coming for that title, then I want you again. Asuka continues with this babyface crap. What I would have had her do is take out the Iconics and then take out Charlotte and Becky Lynch for a good measure. I would have had her turn heel and be a tweener. Be a tweener. Just you attack everybody, you give no shits. She's on this absolute path of destruction. Her streak was ended, and she's done with everybody's bullshit. She's done playing nice. That's what I wanted to see from Asuka. Nope, none of that. We just saw Asuka save Charlotte, the woman who ended her streak. I don't like that whatsoever. I thought we should have seen a lot more than that. But it's going to be interesting to see how they portray Asuka going into the future. I thought that if she was going to lose a streak, a heel turn is what needed to happen for Asuka. Was not the case here tonight on SmackDown Live. As a matter of fact, I would have had like somebody else, maybe a Sasha Banks or a Bayley on Monday night or on SmackDown Live, and then had just Asuka show up like in a month when nobody's seen her for so long. But that's not what they decided to do. Asuka was back on SmackDown Live, and it was decent, but quite frankly, it's not what I wanted to see. Anyways, the announcers led us to a promo for Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. They're coming to SmackDown, so that's good. That fleshes out the SmackDown Live Tag Team division. That was expected. Maybe you can do the Bullet Club of AJ Styles, Gallows, and Anderson on on SmackDown Live, and that's what probably going to happen when they move on from AJ and Shinsuke, but in the future, that's just a possibility right there. I'd like to see that, and it could be the Bullet Club against Sanity. That gives Sanity more people to feud with right there. So start assembling factions. I want to see WWE become faction heavy. Factions are never a bad thing. It keeps people in the limelight, that's for sure. Maybe The Miz will assemble a new Miztourage. That was something that was rumored. With who? I have no idea, but you can definitely do it. Big Cass is somebody who I already mentioned, but we move on here. announcers they announced the Greatest Royal Rumble event, or they hyped the Greatest Royal Rumble event. We get a backstage promo from The Bar. The Bar is coming to SmackDown Live. This surprised the hell out of me. I was like, what the hell? The Bar? Are you kidding me? That's crazy. That's a big blow to Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw now has to start assembling a lot of tag teams. I'm thinking Chad Gable's going to go to Monday Night Raw to team with a returning Jason Jordan to reform American Alpha, because Monday Night Raw, it's no doubt, they need teams, bro. Now that they lost The Bar, they're left with Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, The Revival, and the Authors of Pain. That's it. They need goddamn teams on Monday Night Raw. So I'm thinking they're going to have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn operate as a team in the tag team division. Maybe Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler, they're debuting as a tag team. I'm not sure what the deal is with that situation right there. You're going to have to put in Chad Gable and Jason Jordan just for the lack of tag teams. That's my thought there. But that is besides the point. We move on to a weird backstage promo with R-Truth, The New Day, and Ty Dillinger. I have no idea what the purpose around this was. Ty Dillinger did some weird handshake. I give no craps about R-Truth whatsoever. Moving on here. The announcers, of course, announced and confirmed that the team of Sanity is coming. We discussed that. And Andrade Cien Almas. I love it, I love it, I love it. Andrade Cien Almas, one of the best in-ring performers in the company. Needless to say, with the 5-star matchup that he put on with Johnny Gargano at NXT TakeOver New Orleans. Probably, as far as being NXT champion goes, the best in-ring performer NXT champion-wise. I can't wait to see it, bro. Andrade Cien Almas is absolutely fantastic. And Zelina Vega came with him. So, things are going to be great. The Muñeca, Zelina Vega, and Andrade Cien Almas, El Ídolo, are here on SmackDown Live. Cannot wait to see what they're going to do. Andrade versus AJ. Andrade versus Bryan. Andrade versus Orton. Andrade versus Rusev. Andrade versus Joe. Andrade versus whoever the hell else you have on SmackDown Live. It writes itself gold. I cannot wait to see it. But we move on here to the main event, AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan versus Rusev and Aiden English. Basic tag team main event. AJ was beaten down on the whole match until he made the hot tag to Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan was clearing it all out, and he was ready to hit the knee on Rusev he did hit the knee on Rusev, and it was Shinsuke Nakamura who came in, hit a dastardly low blow on AJ Styles. I absolutely love that. Like I said last week, needless to say, they really didn't advance upon it too much here tonight. It was Shinsuke Nakamura. I'm loving this heel run, but this is what I didn't like. It was Big Cass who ended this matchup in disqualification. I would have given the win to Rusev. The only problem there was you're pinning Daniel Bryan, so I'm not sure about that. But it was Big Cass who came in and hit the big boot on Daniel Bryan. So that pretty much confirms that we're going to see a matchup in some capacity between Big Cass and Daniel Bryan. You're going to do David versus Goliath. I mean, it could turn out to be well. It's a nice push for Big Cass coming in. I don't know. And then it took like 10 seconds or 30 seconds for his music to play. I guess WWE was just looking for it after so long. His theme music is awful. You really have to change that. Doesn't fit the big New Yorker at all. But Shinsuke Nakamura was interviewed after the replays, and once again he dropped the line, "No speak English." So we're going from knee to face to no speak English as Nakamura's heel catchphrase. I absolutely love it. It could definitely get over if WWE puts the right pushing behind that. I'd make it a t-shirt right away. But that was SmackDown Live for tonight. A lot of big names coming from the Superstar Shakeup. Andrade is here. Jeff Hardy is here. Samoa Joe's here. SmackDown Live, needless to say, got the better end of this shakeup. But it comes down to whether or not WWE's writing is going to hold up. And I have all doubts in that situation. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be all right here on your SmackDown Live review for the date of April 18th, 2008, or April 17th, 2018. Make sure to go check out all the other content. Make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe, make sure to do all that good stuff, because for now, this has been Joel Perez of Ringside Wrestling Entertainment. And for now, I am out of here. Thank you very, very much for watching this video, because for now, I will see you next time right here.